Hey, welcome back to the channel, to Drawing with Michael. I am your host and artisan, Michael. Welcome to, oh my gosh, day 11 of Inktober. What a great ride it's been so far. So, this of course is in replacement of my daily warm-up drawing that I typically will videotape. I will typically be pretty random when it comes to my my daily drawing, just because, you know, I like doing a lot of things at once. So anyway, what I'm trying to say basically is just sit back and enjoy the ride. Hopefully you guys are doing some type of Inktober drawing exercise, you know, daily. I know that Inktober is very convenient. Some people make it a very large portion of their workday, and I've noticed some of the drawings are just insane. Yeah, this is my Inktober drawing. You know, I've only spent like 4 days on it. You know, and this is incredibly how beautiful and rendered it is. Yeah, but it's an Inktober drawing, and I'm not putting down on those people. What I'm basically iterating is some people have more time than others, and obviously that's, you know, that's their shtick. But today, of course, we're continuing on in our 31 days of Harry Potter. I've only missed one day. You know, I had on Sunday, I had a little bit of a family issue that I needed to take care of. And at the end of the day, what I'm basically doing is possibly making it up. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do that. So today I'm just going to do a profile of Dumbledore. You guys obviously know who Dumbledore is. He's kind of that that wonderful wizard that, you know, kind of guides Harry in his endeavors. I haven't watched the new Fantastic Beasts movie that really dives in to who Dumbledore is, you know, in the context of all the stories. You know, I'm sure that it's going to be wonderful. I haven't watched it yet, so basically what I'm doing is I'm roughing in my gesture, you know, keeping things pretty simple. Today I'm using the Color-Ace Prismacolor pencil blue line. I like using both the blue line and the red line. Now, I did order some of these other, this is Tuscan Red, so I'm sure this is just as good as the blue, but on this particular toned paper, it just makes it easier for me to use the blue on the grayish toned paper. So just like with every other drawing, I rough things in. Right? I keep things very loose, very sketchy, kind of almost a disaster. You know, placement of those items in the context of the drawing. It just takes a few moments to rough stuff in, right? I'm actually doing a drawing on my iPad for those of you who are interested. This is also going to be some type of Harry Potter character. I haven't determined yet. What I've noticed in the Harry Potter universe, there's not a lot of ethnic diversity. So I'm just kind of playing around with the different, you know, character style types and just kind of having fun with that. Hopefully, that'll be something you guys will be interested in once I get that video done. People are so sensitive today about stuff like that. You know, I want to be sensitive, of course, but it's just something that I noticed. You know, there's just not a lot of ethnic diversity in the Harry Potter world, and that's a shame, right? Anyway, so that being said, Dumbledore. It's always a really cool name, right? Dumbledore. It probably means something. All the, you know, I always question in terms of where a lot of the the names came from for, of course you have Harry, which is pretty standard, but Hermione and of course Ron, those are pretty standard. I don't know about Hermione, but whoops. But like Dumbledore, where did that come from? Snape, where did that come from? Obviously, is it something possibly, it might be something possibly from J.K. Rowling's past, right? That, or, who knows? She might just made everything up. She made everything up, dude. Stop reading into it. Profiles. I like doing profiles. Profiles are I don't want to say they're easy, but they definitely... See, I've already messed this up. I've already got the proportions wrong because I'm talking. The proportions are completely wrong. Everything's too big. Too big. So what basically I've got to do now is I'll go back to the beginning. The senior said to go back to the beginning, so that's what I'm doing. So again, I'll place this head in, because I got the proportion of the head right. Now I'm just going to go back. I think this is where I messed up, is the nose, right? There we go. So my drawing yesterday, I initially had narrated over the entire thing, and I've been trying to do, of course, a video every day, but with that comes, a little bit of a challenge, because one of the pieces of software that I was using to edit my videos, which was iMovie, because it's easy, it's just drag and drop, it takes no time at all, it malfunctioned on my Mac after I updated to OS Catalina, and basically after I did that, then I couldn't use the software at all. It's complete crap. So I broke out Premiere, because I've used Premiere in the past, and Premiere is a very, very powerful program. I mean, what you can do is that program is probably a little bit more in tune with professional editing software. So, and I've used it quite a bit in the past, but I didn't want to get in there and start messing around. All I wanted to do is basically drag and drop and export. So I started getting into Premiere, and I'm like, you know what? There's got to be something better. And lo and behold, there's something called Premiere Rush. And what a great program. Just simple to use. I mean, it's just fantastic. And it kind of goes in the same vein as iMovie. Easy to use, and the interface is really simple, and just a great program. So if you're a Adobe Creative Cloud subscriber and you don't, well, first of all, if you don't know how to use Premiere, that's completely fine. But if you don't want to get in there and just, have to mess around with all the layer compositing and the channels and everything else and whatnot inside of Premiere, then yes, Premiere Rush is a great alternative for you. Let's do the chin here. Okay, so that's the underlying structure. Now I can go back in and I can draw the hair over it. And I think that's, whenever we do drawings, a lot of times we forget of the underlying structure. So even though I'm drawing a beard, I'm going to have a beard come up all the way up here. I've got the ear here, which is going to be covered, by the way. The ear's going to be covered. So here's that jawline. Here's the back of the neck. A lot of this is going to be covered. You still really need to understand where stuff is so you can place the hair accordingly. Right? So I'll come here. Okay. Here's the beard. I finished some really high-profile projects this week, which have really been in the wings. while I'm working on them. They've just been very complex and hard to facilitate because I'm under retainer with two companies, and they have a limited amount of resources that they can utilize. And some of these projects, take 15, 20, 25 hours to complete because they're digital sculpting projects. And unfortunately, you really have to kind of balance that whole situation there because, obviously I don't want to work for free. But then again, I don't want to nickel and dime my clients, so I really have to balance. And then not only do I have those those projects, but also, if something comes out of nowhere and they need it, pretty quickly. See, I'm gonna have to do this eye. So let's do this eye socket first. So here's the inner part. Here's that. Here's that. Here's the cheekbone. Here's that. Okay, so I want the underlying structure so I can determine where I put the eye and the sizing. See, and this is going to come up. This has come up right here. Here's the eyebrow. Here's the inner part. There it comes. Actually, that eye needs to be moving forward slightly. So I'm going to move that to right about there. That's too far back. Okay, so we're going to go here. It's going to go here, here. There. Okay. Here's the lower part of the lid. It's going to come out. And then drawing an older version of Dumbledore, not the decrepit version. He's not decrepit. There we go. Okay. Alright. This comes down. Here is his nostril. Here's that bridge that comes here. The eye fat comes around. Here's his hair. Here's his wizard cap. I remember how I talked about gravity. So the wizard cap, obviously, there is a degree of stiffness to it. But also you need to remember gravity is going to affect this portion over here, so it needs to pull on it. Same thing happens with the hair. I'm going to basically come back here in just a minute because, like here's the mustache and the beard. Come around, maybe he's got something tying his beard on this side. And it comes around on his shoulder, right? Here's his robe. There's the split. Because Dumbledore's got this enormous amount of hair and beard that really has that, it gives the connotation of wisdom and power and that really classic interpretation of what a wizard looks like, right? I wanted to go a little bit different with this one, just because, even though I can make him really cartoony if I wanted to, that's not even a word, cartoony, more like stylized. I can make him really stylized, but I didn't want to do that. Maybe his beard comes down to a point, his arm is a little bit longer. Maybe it's just barely, like right here, and you have the folds. There, here's his shoulder. And that tunic comes down, here's the edge of the shoulder. Right, here, here. here. And here's the final break right here. Okay. Might not even go down and finish that. I haven't decided yet. His beard's going to taper off. It's kind of braided here. And he's got this piece. Maybe another braid right there. Comes like that. Here. Here. Okay. All right. Color this in slightly. Right, he's got some wrinkles that come up here. It comes around. Comes here. Comes here. So this comes here, and since the top of the fabric here is resting on his arm, you're going to have this line come here, and then maybe here's his hand. Maybe his hand's like right here. Right? I don't know if I told you guys recently I had to do, oh, here we go. This is like this. I had to do a piece that had a lot of wrinkles in it. In the fabric. And I like doing fabric wrinkles. It's challenging because it all has to do with rhythm and flow and how, and obviously this right here is a complete mess. I'll end up refining and whatnot as I move through the drawing. But what I'm trying to say is, don't, we're going to have this like this, have this thumb come up. Don't have a lot of, what do I say? Nervousness whenever it comes to doing certain artistic tasks. It's challenging, but you shouldn't be afraid. I think that's one of the things that, you know, I've noticed in students, especially recently, that I'm now teaching at a higher level, collegiate level, whereas previously I was teaching in the, you know, in the elementary and high school levels. What I've noticed recently is the fear that is involved with doing this. You know, whenever you're younger, of course, you know, you have a degree of adventure kind of built in you. I don't know what it is. It's hard to describe. And I noticed it really prevalent in elementary children. Yeah, that's a horrible looking hand. Good Lord. You know what? That's so terrible. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Anyway, what I'm basically trying to say is, you know, those kids that were, you know, they're doing just sketches and artwork and stuff, there's that sense of adventure. You know, they have that sense of wanting to try something new. And it seemed like the older kids that I started teaching, they were so afraid to mess up. right? They're so afraid to drawing really bad hands. Really bad hands. And... oh, it cracks me out. It's such a bad hand. Oh my gosh. Oh. Struggling so much. So much. The hand sucks. He's like, bah. So disappointed in myself. I'm gonna have to actually take a picture of a hand, and I'm gonna have to look at it for reference because I suck. Oh gosh. Maybe his hand goes up like that instead. I'm cheating. Like, I just don't want to draw it like that. He's like, stop in the name of the law. Gosh, I suck. Oh, what I'm gonna do for you guys as you watch me struggle with this sucky hand. The rest of it I'm happy with so far, except for this massively suckfest hand. And I even said, you know, I've even told you guys, you know, I've struggled with hands throughout my entire career. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download a reference for hand, and it's not cheating. If I can't get the right position right for this, it's better if I stop now. I kind of take a load off, you know, look around for a good reference hand, and go back and go at it again. So give me a couple minutes. I'm going to download and look for a really decent hand. I just think it's funny. Oh, anyway. So you guys know the struggle is real. It's real. So let me do that really quick, and I'll put you guys right back on. Okay, I found reference for a decent hand. I'm not sure how it's going to work out because I'm kind of out of space down here, but suffice it to say, I'm going to try my darndest to at least get it in here. Yeah, what an epic fail this is. Right? It's not even a good... It's not even a good hand reference. Right? Just a challenge, man. Come on. I'm going to end up messing this up again. I can feel it. Because I'm already out of space. He's like, hey, hey. You know what, guys? Those things that challenge us early on in our career, hands was one of them for me. Still is. I still have issues with certain poses and anatomy issues, and it is what it is. I can remember doing hand studies and trying to figure stuff out, and you know, having a decent understanding, even cartoon hands, and you know, the reality is still learning, still trying, still going forward, still pushing. Yeah, that thumb's too small. Completely wrong. You know, all these things that, let's see, here's a second joint, here's the third one, so it's just too small. Right. Bring this up a little bit higher. Still not what I want. And at the end of the day, you know, you have to kind of, I call it, just calling it, you know, I'm just going to have to call it here in a second because I don't want to spend any more time on it, even though the hand is wrong. and it sucks. All this is wrong. Yep, you guys get to see my epic fail today. So maybe it's got... He's fixing to cast a spell. He's like, I'm gonna spell you in the face. Okay. Maybe he's got a couple bracelets. Come down here. Not my best. Not my best at all. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I've got that plane. Comes here. Struggle. The struggle is real. Okay. I'm going to put you guys on time lapse really quick while I ink this for today's Inktober. By the way, here's the hand reference right there. I kind of wanted him to be holding it like this, but at the end of the day I also wanted his thumb to be up. And it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. You know, that occasionally happens. Unfortunately. Where's my fabric reference? Fabric reference, where are you? Where are you? Fabric reference. Okay, so I got my fabric reference, my hair reference. I'll go back really quick and I'm just starting to, put some of these little darker lines in to help define him a little bit better. I'm going to push this a little bit right here. Push this a little bit back, forward. He's the midground, and this will be in the foreground right here. So I'll have this line go over him, and then I've got to give him, some glasses, right? Yeah. I don't want it to break that eye plane, so I got to be really careful. Because I want to be able to see his eye. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Alright, you guys, so going on time lapse and enjoy the process. Okay, the inks are pretty much done. What I'm going to do now is just bring in my... Whoops. That thing is almost dead. Let's see if I got any more, which I don't. I'm going to have to buy some more. Bring in my lovely Faber-Castell. I can't think that's how you say it. Big brush cold gray marker. I'm going to... what I call civilization at some point today, because I know I've said it on here before, but I live in a very rural area. And rural, I mean, there is nothing, almost nothing around in terms of, art stores. to be able to buy art supplies. I mean, I can order stuff at Amazon, that's fine. But to just pop out and go buy something, it doesn't really happen. You know, we're kind of, you know, in the middle of nowhere, and there is stuff in town, but it's very rudimentary in terms of shopping. You're not going to go out and go shopping, right? So what we do as a family, about once a month, is we go into quote-unquote civilization, which is about an hour from here, to where we can go and pick up a few things clothes-wise, and I'll typically go to the art store and pick up some supplies. So that's what I'll be doing at some point, either today or maybe tomorrow, we'll see. But this, of course, if you guys are wondering, is Dumbledore. I think I've already said that. Just putting in these final little touches here and there. Not rendering, just putting in some tone to kind of bring things out a little bit more. And his jacked up hand, so you guys can enjoy that jacked up hand. I think this is just about dead, so let's switch over to this one. Hopefully I can get a little bit more out of this than what is there. Good. Yep, I think that's pretty much gonna be it for today. Thank you guys for visiting the channel. As always, like and subscribe, growing the channel, doing a little bit at a time. Hopefully, you know, they say that the fastest way to grow your channel is to post either every day or at a specific time, and you use the keywords, which I'm not very good at, obviously, since my channel doesn't have a lot of subscribers yet. But consistency is key whenever it comes to YouTube, so that's what I've been doing, trying to stay consistent and post as much as I can. So anyway, thank you guys for visiting the channel. We'll definitely see you tomorrow, and have a wonderful day. Bye.